towards the future.
Something's going on with my computer. All I keep saying is just light, like white flash.
I do see some light flashing on you now that
Yeah.
you mentioned. So, okay. So, Mayor Keffer, if you're ready, if we can get your video, because we're going to start the meeting and we need the flag that's in your realm. And Councilman Hafiz, can you speak? Because we haven't heard from you. And solicitors, just say hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Awesome. All right, there you are. Hey, Mayor. You gotta unmute yourselves for a second. Let's just check your sound. Start.
Here.
Okay. Yep. Flag that's in your. No, I'm echoing. That's scary. Okay. So, everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The mayor has a flag behind her. You might want to adjust your camera so that it's on your face. Everything. All right. All right. So I pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the United
United
of
States of
America,
America,
States,
the republic for which it stands, one nation,
with liberty and justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
And can we have a moment of silence for those who passed away during 9/11?
Hello.
Thank you. Okay, so well, thank you everyone for joining us for this special meeting for Upper Darby Township Council of the Delaware County Community College Land Development. At this point in time, Councilwoman Billups, can you please give us a roll call?
Council President Wentz, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
good evening.
Good evening.
Here.
Councilman Tunis?
Sure.
Councilwoman Billups is here. Councilman Silva?
Here.
Councilwoman Blackwell?
Here.
Councilman Bob Gwen?
Present.
Councilman Burke?
Present.
Councilman Siddiq?
Present.
Councilwoman Faralia?
Present.
Councilman Barnett, I believe is excused.
Yes, he is excused.
Okay. Councilman Wagner
Here.
and Council President Wentz.
Present.
All present and accounting for President Wentz.
Thank you. Okay, great. So up next, we have rules of decorum.
Others in
Upper Darby
attendance?
Township Council. Upper Darby Township Council and residents will maintain professional respect for each other. Council encourages free speech. However, civility is required, which would prohibit threats, profanity, scandalous, impertinent, and redundant comment, or any comment the discernible purpose of which is to disrupt or prevent the conduct of the business of the meeting. Okay. Solicitor Kilkenny, are you going to read us, give us a reading of the resolution?
I would be happy to.
Awesome, you rock, man. Everyone
All
else,
right.
mute yourself or I will mute you.
May I begin? Hello? May I begin?
Yes, you may begin.
All right. A resolution of Upper Darby Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, granting preliminary final subdivision and land development approval to Delaware County Community College for a 2-lot subdivision with a building expansion and early learning building development. Whereas Act 247 of 1968 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code empowers the governing body of a municipality to regulate subdivisions and land developments within the municipality. Whereas Upper Darby Township is desirous of orderly and appropriate land use and development, to protect the health, welfare, and safety of its residents. Whereas Delaware County Community College is the equitable owner of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, is the legal landowner of record of a certain 35.1 acre property located at 403 Lansdowne Avenue, Upper Darby Township, located at the corner of Garrett Road and Lansdowne Avenue in the township's R1 zoning district. Whereas the applicant proposes to subdivide the property into 2 lots, with 1 lot to consist of Archbishop Pendergrass High School building and several outbuildings, and the 2nd lot to consist of Monsignor Bonner High School building, athletic fields, and the Friary building. Applicant also proposes extensive interior renovations to the Pendergrass building and the construction of a new annex wing to the Pendergrass building, with the existing annex and several other structures on the lot to be raised. Applicant also plans to construct an early learning center, structured parking deck, new at-ground parking spaces, and associated stormwater management, erosion, and sedimentation controls, lighting and landscaping improvements, collectively known as the project. Whereas the applicant has caused the project to be prepared and filed with the township a certain subdivision land development plan for the project, being Delaware County Planning Department File 4761950620, consisting of 17 sheets prepared by G.T. Houtman and Son, dated February 27, 2020, and last revised on August 20th, 2020, or after the plan. Whereas the Delaware County Planning Department has reviewed the plan at its April 16th, 2020 meeting and recommended approval of the plan subject to certain condition. Whereas applicant now desires council consider the plan pursuant to section 508 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. Now therefore be it resolved by Upper Darby Council that the plan is hereby granted conditional, preliminary, and final subdivision and land development approval, subject to the satisfaction of the following condition. 1, prior to recording the plan, applicant must address to the satisfaction of the township engineer the comments and conditions contained in the May 26, 2020 MG Engineering Review Letter. 2, prior to recording the plan, applicant must address to the satisfaction of the township traffic engineer the comments and conditions contained in the May 18th, 2020 Albert Federico Consulting LLC Traffic Review Letter. 3, prior to recording the plan, applicant must address to the satisfaction of the township engineer the comments and conditions contained in the April 28, 2020 Stormwater Management Review Memorandum dated April 28, 2020, prepared by Catania Engineering Associates. 4, prior to recording the plan, applicant shall comply with all applicable comments contained in the April 17, 2020 Delaware County Planning Department to the satisfaction of the township engineer. 5, applicant shall comply with the Upper Darby Township Zoning Hearing Board's November 22nd, 2019 decision and all conditions contained therein, and obtain any additional zoning relief prior to recording the plan. 6, the parking held in reserve as noted in the plan shall be installed upon mutual agreement of the applicant and the township. Any additions to the parking deck needed to install the reserved parking spaces shall obtain the necessary approvals or relief from the township or associated agency when the addition is proposed and prior to such construction. Accepting what is depicted on the plan, no additional surface parking shall be constructed on the property without the necessary township approvals. Applicant must obtain any necessary approvals and reviews from the township engineer, township traffic engineer, Delaware County Planning Department, Pennsylvania DEP, PennDOT, and any necessary planning modules and the necessary permits before the plan is recorded. 8, applicant must complete all required easements and or maintenance agreements or declarations, including but not limited to a stormwater management facilities operation and maintenance agreement, and form satisfactory to the township engineer and solicitor prior to recording the plan. Applicant will provide all necessary legal descriptions for any necessary easements. 9, a revised recordable plan shall ultimately be submitted for township administrative review that addresses all requests for further plan details, additions, corrections, and clarifications set forth in the above mentioned review letters. 10, prior to recording the plan, the applicant shall execute a land development and financial security agreement drafted by the solicitor and post financial security to guarantee the installation of public improvements associated with the project and amounts recommended by the township engineer. 11, all outstanding township fees, township engineering fees, and township legal fees, and any professional fees associated with the review and approval of the application and plans shall be paid in full before the plan is recorded in accordance with Section 503 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. 12, due to the trees being removed from the property or otherwise required as a result of the project, the applicant's desire to maintain appropriate tree coverage throughout the township, the applicant has voluntarily agreed to pay the township a fee in lieu of to offset the impact of resulting absence of trees. Due to the caliber of the trees to be removed or otherwise required, the applicant has volunteered to pay the township $1,000 per tree for 38 trees for a total of $38,000. The resolution shall bind the applicant and the applicant's successors and assigns. The applicant is requesting the following waivers. The following waiver from the Township Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance are hereby approved. Section 303, paragraph 1, for relief from submitting the preliminary plan submission for a major land development plan prior to a final plan submission is hereby approved or denied. Section 817 F1, for relief from providing the necessary replacement trees is hereby approved or denied. This resolution does not authorize the construction or improvements of buildings excepting those shown on the plans, and the applicant shall be required to record the plan prior to proceeding with any land development. Furthermore, this resolution and the approvals and conditions contained therein shall be rescinded automatically upon applicant or applicant's agent's failure to accept in writing all conditions herein imposed within 7 days of receipt of this resolution. Such acceptance is to be evidenced by applicant or applicant's agent signature below, adopted and resolved this day in council chambers. And Madam President, I noticed that the representatives of the applicant are on the Zoom meeting right now. They have had the opportunity to review this resolution as well as the township engineer, and they have said they would sign this as written and have had the opportunity to review that. So what council will want to do is, if they want to move forward with this tonight, they would, one, vote on the waivers first. Would they grant sections 303 and section 817 waivers? And then there would be a motion to approve the overall resolution. That concludes my reading, Madam President.
Great, thank you for that clarification. I'd like to thank the members of the Delaware County Community College for joining us this evening. At this point in time, we have a window for you all to give us an update on anything that happened between our last meeting and this meeting that you wanted to either elaborate on or give a little more information before we head into the public comment. So, Tony, did you want to start that off? There you are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, we had no changes from last time to this meeting. We have brought along the same representatives we had last time. Don Main from Architects, Gus Hoopman, our site engineer, Nicole Klein from McMahon for traffic, Nicholas Cornelia from he's our solicitor, and joining us tonight is also Dr. Patricia Benson, our finance and administrator and treasurer. I was going to turn it over to Don for a very quick review again of the project, if that's okay, just so we can put that in everybody's mind, and then we can turn it over to questions if you like.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Am I able to share my screen?
Allison, can you set him up to share a screen?
Actually, are folks able to see that?
Yep. Oh,
Okay,
there she go.
very good. So just to briefly run through the project scope, and as Tony said, we don't have any changes from what was previously presented. So this is the same plan that you had looked at in our previous meeting. The project includes the construction of a new full-service campus for the Delaware County Community College. And the overall goal with this project is that a student that attends this campus will be able to begin and finish their learning at this campus and not necessarily have to go to another campus, another of the college's campus. And in order to do that, they will have the full range of facilities located at this campus that the college has located at their other campuses. Some of the specialty spaces that will be included here at this campus include science laboratories, medical and health culinary, arts, classrooms, course development and technology, classrooms and labs, and a full learning commons, which is available at the main campus. So the project develops the entire property that's being, and I'm running my cursor around that property that's being purchased from the Archdiocese. The existing Prendergast High School, the original building, is being comprehensively renovated. The interior is receiving a full gut renovation, including all new mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and finishes to house college programs. The exterior of that building is being rehabilitated and preserved so that it maintains its current look, so that the original exterior of the building will be preserved as it looks today. The existing annex building is connected to the original structure, is being removed and replaced with a new 3-story building. This building will house some of the specialty programs that the college is locating at this new campus, including some of the technical labs, community outreach center, and science labs. The existing gymnasium located here receives a full renovation for continued use as a gymnasium, and this will serve the college's athletic programs. Currently, they do not have a gym at any of the other campuses, including the main campus, so this will be a new facility for them. And then in partnership with YMCA, a 2-story building is being constructed at the north portion of the site to house the YMCA's childcare program. And the Delaware County Community College will also have a classroom in that building so that their education students are able to collaborate with the YMCA's childcare, and they're able to utilize that for their studies. Parking is being provided on the site with a mix, both with at-grade parking that's shown here on the site plan, and also a 2-tier parking deck that's proposed at the corner of Lansdowne Avenue and Huey Avenue. And that parking deck is being designed for future vertical expansion if required. Finally, green areas are being introduced on the site, with the major green area being located here on this side of the main academic building. Those areas will include lawn areas for students, as well as courtyards where students have outdoor space where they can congregate and activities can take place on this campus. That's the overview that we have, a brief overview.
Thank you. I do believe we got Solicitor Kilkenny. Can you just give us, there was a question that came up via council in reference to the zoning height realm. Can you just clarify that as well before we continue?
Sure, it'd be a pleasure. Last meeting, Councilor Bonnet raised a concern related to if there needed any additional zoning relief related to height. After the meeting, I reached out to counsel for Delaware County Community College, Mr. Canaglia, who is on this Zoom meeting. He had previously reached out to Peter Amuso, who is the solicitor of the zoning hearing board. Condition 6 of the prior zoning relief granted in 2019 gives the zoning hearing board the ability to have some flexibility related to the height of this approval, provided the applicant makes that request. The zoning hearing board reviewed that and found that this development plan, which I forwarded to him and Mr. Canaglia forwarded to him as well, was in the spirit of that zoning relief. I received an email from him earlier today stating that, after consulting with the zoning hearing board on that, and then he'll issue a written order on that as well. I forwarded that to council, I believe, this morning. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Just want to, get all the information we knew up front before we started the public comment. Great. So at this point in time, we are going to begin the public forum of the council meeting. Allison, thank you very much for coming back on board. And if you're not speaking, if you can mute your microphones, Councilwoman Billups, please leave your microphone on because you need to do the signal. You're the timekeeper. You're keeping time for 2.5 minutes and I'm keeping time for 3 minutes. So then that way we have everything set up and it's 6:20. Great. Okay, go ahead, Allison.
3 comments were received. The first one, Peggy Braden Wilson, 824 Drexel Avenue, Drexel Hill, PA. My comments pertain to access to the campus from SEPTA's Lansdowne Avenue stop. I've attached pictures of both the eastbound and westbound stops at Garrett and Lansdowne Avenue. They are primarily used during the day by Bonner Prendy students and commuters who live in the area. They are extremely convenient to the new campus, and safe, accessible public transportation would decrease the demand for parking to some extent. The problem with the existing westbound stop is that there is no shelter from inclement weather. On the eastbound side, the shelter is protected, but it's not well lit. Also, during the day, the lights for the trolley and for traffic are timed so that pedestrians can get across the street to their respective stops. I don't know if that is true after hours or not. I would like to see DCCC work with SEPTA to install a shelter on the westbound side and adequate lighting on both sides to increase the safety and security of the students. I would also like to see DCCC assure that the safe lighting patterns is in place at night for the safety of the students. End of comment.
Great, thank you. Does someone from Delaware County Community, Tony?
Yes, I'll take that. We are currently working with SEPTA. I may have brought this up at the last meeting. SEPTA has a project coming up where they're upgrading a majority of their trolleys to make them ADA compliant. Part of that is to upgrade the stops as well. When I met with Mark from SEPTA, he came over to the college, we sat down. He was referring to making this one of the first locations that they would want to rehab and create a better, bigger stop, given that we're going to give them the additional foot traffic there as well. The issue is with COVID coming in, SEPTA really got pushed back a lot, and I'm trying to get a timeline from him, and I'm unable to do that at the moment. But what I can do is definitely reach out to him to make sure that the safe lighting is available day and night, at least for now, until we can work out a schedule from them on when they plan on doing work at the stop.
Great, that's wonderful. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
doing that. Okay, Ms. Dobbins, and go.
Art Everett's 7543 Parkview Road, Highland Park. After watching the developer's presentation on DCCC in Upper Darby, I have a few concerns. I know this administration fought for more trees and green space, and I'm glad to see at least some revision of the plan to include this. I hope it's a sign that this administration will fight for more long-term sustainable development than previous administrations have. I was concerned at the presenter's seeming lack of interest in the fact that the location is right next to a trolley stop. This area is already congested and very challenging to navigate as a pedestrian, something that will only be amplified by further encouragement of single-car drivers. I hope the township will emphasize the convenience of Upper Darby's public transit and will work with the developers and DCCC to ensure the Lansdowne and Garrett Road crossing prioritizes pedestrian safety, which likely requires a redesign of the crosswalks and traffic signals. I'm glad to see this administration putting environmental concerns as well as showing long-term thinking in inherited development, and hope these concerns and thinking are at the forefront of future redevelopment. Upper Darby has suffered for far too long under short-term planning that's left entire commercial districts a sea of chain-linked fencing, flooding, and empty storefronts, impacting residents' quality of life and the township's reputation as a whole. Thank you. End of comment.
Thank you. Did anyone want to weigh in on I mean, I know you kind of, Tony, tapped into the, on the earlier question about working with septic to get better lighting to help on that. I guess question to administration, is there anything
I
that,
believe Miss Klein had her hand up.
sorry,
Yeah.
Ms. Klein, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Sorry, go ahead, Ms. Klein, go for it.
No
Bye.
problem. Thanks, Ms. Wentz. I just wanted to add, obviously, we did talk about the importance of the trolley and the work that DCCC is doing in communicating with SEPTA. I will also note that PennDOT has a project along Lansdowne Avenue. It's a traffic signal modernization project, which will be upgrading all of the traffic signals as well as addressing the pedestrian connectivity, ADA compliance, and pedestrian signal facilities. So we have been in close communication with PennDOT. We are doing a couple things along our site frontage to help with that project. So I think that will also speak to the pedestrian connectivity here.
Great, thank you. Thank you, that's really important. Sorry, I didn't see you. Okay, great, and hold on, sorry, 1 second. Okay, and Ms. Dobbins, go.
Stephen Nitz, 7102 Landfair Road, Upper Darby. Mayor and Township Council members, from what I can see of the plans online, they include demolishing the last building in the historic A.J. Drexel Mansion, which is the carriage house near Lansdowne Avenue, and putting a parking garage there. I would like to see a plan that preserves and renovates that building. Perhaps we can even work with Drexel University on that project. Secondly, putting the main entrance as a glass box facing the streets seems odd. Why would that not be in the back? I think the building, which is on our list of historic places, would lose its classic appearance from the street. Surely something can be designed to accomplish that. Respectfully yours, Steve. End of comment.
Okay, does anyone want to, so I believe on the historical side of the equation, it was brought up in the zoning board meeting, zoning hearing board at the time, and I believe the answer was that it never got certified as a historical building, and that's the reason why it wasn't able to be saved
Well,
for all intents and purposes. Can you give us more on that?
Sure, I'll give you what I can, and I'll turn it over
Okay.
to Don for the entrance. The site was never classified as historical, but the reason for the removal of that particular house is after review of the condition. It wasn't financially feasible to keep that location and utilize it for anything purposeful for the college, as it was set aside from the main building. And we tried to maximize as much parking as we could at the same time. We do have historical records of the entire site. We do have photographs of the entire site. And I think, Don, correct me if I'm wrong, we're putting up markers along the routes to identify the buildings that were there.
Right. We had a consultation with the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission in relation to the scope that's being proposed at the site, and also the approach to address the original building and the additions to the original building. And we discussed two items during that. One was with the overall site development. The college is willing to put some historic markers along the sidewalk along Lansdowne Avenue that will include historic viewshed images, so that it will tell the story of the site and the development of the site and the evolution of the site, and allow folks to see from down at the trolley location looking up, historic images of what this site was originally and what it is currently. Second, in terms of the additions that are being proposed for the buildings, the college did follow the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines, which are the same guidelines that historic architectural review boards use in their review of proposals within historic districts. And specifically, those guidelines say that when additions are made to original structures, that it is important to differentiate the new construction from the old construction, so you can clearly delineate what the original structure was and what the new structure is, or the contemporary use is. And that's where the concept of the glass stair came from. It allows for views back to the original building. We're preserving the original elevations or the original exterior skin of the building, And so when that's lit up at night, especially, you'll be able to look back and see the original construction that's preserved within that new contemporary use, that new entry and circuit.
Great. You didn't have to stop talking if you weren't finished.
That was it. So
Okay.
again, the massing and the scale of everything, is meant to not dominate. It's smaller than the existing building, and the idea is to preserve as much of that original building as we can, which is what the proposal is.
Great, thank you very much. Ms. Dobbins, you said that there were only 3
No,
comments?
there's one more. I miscounted. Sorry.
Okay.
Comments.
Then hold on one sec. And are there any other comments hiding in the other stuff that came in? I didn't get a chance to ask you if you got a chance to divide everybody up.
I did.
Okay, you rock. All right, and go.
Lana Aris, 463 Lombardy Road, Drexel Hill. I support resolution 38-20 provided 1, less than 38 trees be removed at $1 million each. Money does not replace the need for trees. Please find a way to keep as many as possible. 2, parking should be paid and not free. Faculty, staff, and employees can buy parking lot passes. 3, that SEPTA be consulted, like PennDOT, as the trolley and bus stops will increase in volume dramatically. I'm looking forward to supporting continued education and employment in our community. Thank you, Lana Aris. End of comment. End of all comments submitted.
Great. Okay, does anyone want to field any of those? I don't think we can ask you for $1 million per tree. So I mean, I understand her thought process, but I appreciate the $1,000 per tree that you already agreed to give us. So I figured I'd field that one. Anyone else? Seeing none. Okay. All right. So that is all of our public comment for the at this point in time. So I'll close public comment. And then, all right, cool. So council members, please turn on your microphones so that we can, I'm looking for something that I can't find. Okay, so at this point in time, can we get a motion to approve resolution 38-20? Yes.
Actually, President Wentz, I would suggest a motion first to approve the
Sorry,
waivers.
the waivers. You're right.
And
You're
then
right.
a motion on the resolution. And then
Yes.
it's, yes, okay.
Thank you. I was following the agenda and forgot that we splintered off from the agenda. Okay, good point. So can I get a motion to approve waiver section 30-3?
So moved.
Great.
Seconded.
So I heard Silva on the second. Okay, are there any questions or concerns on waiver section 303 from council? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say your name. Great, ayes have it. Thank you. And Councilman Barnett is excused. Okay, and then up next we have, can we get a motion to approve the waiver section number 817-5-1?
So moved.
All right.
Seconded.
Okay, so Danielle Blackwell and Bob Gwynn. Are there any questions or concerns from council on this waiver? I should say that Councilman Barnett did tell me that he supported the waivers. And so I forgot to mention that, so, okay. Seeing no questions or concerns, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say your name. Hearing none. Awesome. Great work. Okay, great. And so next up, can we get a motion to approve resolution 39-20?
I would like to make a motion.
Second.
Great.
Second. So
So I
moved.
heard Councilman Tunis and Councilwoman Billups. Okay, so are there any questions or concerns from council on resolution 29-20? Wow, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say your name. Great, thank you. You will rock, and Councilman Bennett agreed with with the land development as well, so thank you. Awesome, well, thank you all, that was wonderful. So thank you to the Delaware County Community College for coming back in and joining us at this point in time. Let me get back to my thing. Can I get a motion to adjourn this special meeting?
Motion to
I'd like to
adjourn.
make a motion.
Okay, we've got Michelle and MB and Tunis. Great. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, so